Remember, folks, what I explained in my last video, just remember the details, right? The peace of existence is another term for the creator. When I say peace, it's just another way of saying God. And when I say chaos, the female counterpart to God, it's just another term for God's ego. The mother in heaven is God's ego counterpart, while God himself is peace himself. It's a peace. While his self-awareness counterpart is the first creation and the first portal, the first female, the original female. So the real identity of the mother in heaven is she's literally God's ego embodiment. She's God's ego. Like I explained in my last video, there's two to everything, and everything is based off of either God himself or his ego counterpart. So remember, another term for God is peace, power, the masculinity, the dark, the source, the Father in heaven, the power, the God of all gods and goddesses, the creator, the sustainer, the destroyer, the highest, the source, the void, formless, with no shape or form, the black, dark void, where all reality, shadow, wisdom, light, water, firmament, earth, heaven, heavenly beings, beings of the earth, all beings in all objects of reality, all reality at once comes from the dark. Another term for him also is beyond good and bad. For good is his son, and bad is his first wife, and wisdom is his daughter. The original family, oh yeah. So I wanted to clear it up, yeah, just in case I didn't speak accurately enough last video. So remember, folks, the mind, the peace mind, is just another way of saying the creator himself, while the ego mind is a way of saying his first wife, the mother in heaven, the original female. Remember, his ego counterpart, his self-awareness counterpart, is his female counterpart. And the creator is also known as the unconscious. And he's the male. He's the creator himself. The first thing he ever made was his ego counterpart from himself. The original realization, which is what all realizations are based off of. Yep, before there was this reality, the only reality, which all realities are connected to, because all realms are part of one big reality. All realms are connected, heavens to earth, that's right, and the demon realm, which is of a lower, slower vibration. All existence comes out of the dark. The creator himself, he started the reality, and like I said, another term he's known as is unconscious. The unconscious. Unconscious, yes. In him there's no thought, there's no self-awareness, there's no wisdom, there's no enlightenment, which is another word for light. He exceeds all of that. The construct of the mind, he exceeds his very construct of his mind. Because the construct of his mind is also incarnations. Ain't that crazy? So anyway, there was a time when there was no existence. It was just him by himself. Remember, with him alone, there's no thought, ego, wisdom. There's no construct of the mind. It's just pure void, nothingness. Nothingness is another term for him too. Nothingness. So people don't know what nothing really is. Remember that. So people are not consciously aware. Yeah. That's why they can't fathom something coming from nothing, because they don't realize nothing is another term for the source. Since he's the default setting of everything. Everything comes out of the original masculinity, the source. Why do you think he looks intimidating in the dark? Because that's the real identity of masculinity. Masculinity is power, strong looking. That's why the dark looks intimidating. Because it's just another trait of the masculinity. Yeah. Oh, anyway. So anyway, when his female counterpart came into existence, it's only because he created her. And how did he create her? Okay, I'll tell you. It's like this. I'm going to be an example. Watch this. So basically, self-realization. He realized himself And that's when the self-awareness counterpart was born, the chaos, the mother in heaven, the original female. That's right, self-realization, and that's when she was born. And then when she was born, he created through his self-awareness counterpart, and then they had 2 children, light and wisdom. Yep, light is male, wisdom is female. Yep, light is the first male extension based off the original male, which is the dark, the unconscious. And wisdom is the first female based off of the original female, the self-awareness counterpart of the dark, who's the mother of the light and the wisdom, while the dark is the father of them. And because of that, so you already know how it is. The original family, the original 4, the father in heaven, the mother in heaven, the light in heaven, the son in heaven, the daughter in heaven. The reason why the world system don't mention things in detail, because like I said, they want y'all to believe a false narrative. Yeah, in church, right? The reason why the mother and the daughter is not really mentioned, because they want to turn men gay. Yeah, huh? They want men to not realize that they are the same God that started reality. You know, the source within ourselves, looking through these eyeballs. They don't want us to recognize the part of us that makes us us. That's, you know, that we're the same God that exists. So they basically lied to us to try to get guys to worship a man, an image of a man or another man, because that's actually gay in itself. Because men by nature are the very top. You know, masculinity is the top. And there's no such thing as a man worshiping another man. That's gay. Yep, but a lot of guys think that's normal because they're not aware of the truth. That, this, like I said, there's only one power, and that power, we are that same power. There's only one masculinity. And every male in existence is the embodiment of that masculinity. Our true identity is the source. That's the truth when it comes to all males. All females' true identity is chaos, the first creation that came out of the void. That's right. All male and females are based off the original male and female. The lights and the wisdom are just the first, ones based off of those 2. And then how did the heavens, the heavenly beings, the male and females of the heavens, the gods and goddesses, many of them, and the angels, male and female angels and animals up in the heavens, how did they came into being? Because of the union of light and wisdom. When they had their children, then light created through his own little sister, wisdom, as a portal. Then came all the heavenly beings, the countless gods, goddesses, angels, male and female angels, male and female animals of the heavens. See? The creative process, right? And then light created through shadow next. Yeah, and then came water. Then water created through wisdom. And then came firmament and earth. So everything exists. Oh yeah, then later the sun and moon as well. The creative process continued, male and female. Everything exists because of the creative process, male through female. And remember, the creator started the creative process, and his original family took a part in, keeping creation going, making new creation. And then he himself also took part in the later creation too, like starting at Earth. And then when it comes to the sun and moon, oh yeah. So yeah. And then the other family members continued creating until their creation was fully completed. Yeah. It's not just the heavenly bodies. They created many species, little species within existence. So, yeah. Which is why there's so many creatures within the ocean of heaven, like water creatures. Just like how there's creatures in heaven, heavenly creatures. Another word for it, because heaven is made out of pure light, because the light creates your wisdom, right? Another term for light is fire. Fire. People don't realize that fire and light are the same thing. Yep. Because heavenly beings having their father being the light and their mother being wisdom, it's no wonder that they're made out of fire. Because, fire is another term for light. When you look at light, from a distance, it's flashing, glowing light. Like when you know the sun and the light beings. But what happens if light is on this physical realm as us humans? If they were to be on this physical dimension as us humans, how would they appear to us? That's right, a light beam will appear as fire. But they won't burn you, though. So they will appear as fire. So if you look at light on this physical realm alongside of us, who's physical, right? Light will appear as fire, because light and fire are the same thing. So I just wanted to explain that in a little more detail. So anyway. This realm, the firmament and earth, after the water was created, our realm is made out of pure water. So, yep, even the earth we stand on is made out of many minerals of the water. So you know how it is. So the heavens is the fire realm, and the firmament earth where we humans are on, and our makeup is the water realm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, yeah, yeah. And all the elements are a form of those type of elements. Yeah. Uh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whew. But yeah, man, that's the thing. So. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But anyway, I'm not gonna talk about there's more I was gonna talk about that, but I'm gonna talk about it in another video. But anyway, back to what I was saying about the father and mother, right? So anyway, yeah, because I want to make sure I spoke more accurately from my last video. So remember, folks, peace is just another term of the Creator Himself, while chaos is His ego counterpart. That's right. Can remember, it's not just all of reality, but yeah, and which is the heavens and the earth and all the beings in them and the objects in them, right? It's not just all of reality. God's own construct of the mind, which is the wisdom, the thought, which is no word for the light, the necessary good, and the ego counterpart, which is no word for the necessary evil. All of them are incarnations as well of the void, the dark, the creator, the male, the masculinity. All of them are incarnations, while the masculinity, the dark, the source, the creator, is the only one who's not an incarnation of himself. He's not just a father in heaven, and the father was originally family. He's the one that started the beginning, the creation process. Yeah, yeah. And and all males are extensions of him, while all females are portals of his female counterpart, which is chaos, because all females come out of all of males the same way. So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah, because female is basically just half of the male. Yeah, 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 which is why they're double X. Even chaos, she's half of the void, the dark. That's why she's called chaos. And by nature, hey, what's up, April? Yeah, my dog just approached me from the other side of the... Yeah, yeah, yeah. See? So cute, right? Oh, yeah. Oh, I'll get back with you, April. I'm teaching and lighting people right now. I'll get back with you. Yeah, in this neighborhood, there are like all kinds of animals, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sometimes I will feed a stray cat, just to be nice. How cats will hop the fence, they will go into our yards and stuff, and sometimes I'll feed the animals. And yeah, this dog belongs to someone I know, so who's next door to me, so. Yeah, she's adorable. Yep. Animals and children actually love me, That's right. It just happens by itself. That's all I can say. But I already know they're responding really to the source within me. Yeah, yeah, the creator, who feels like home to them. So I know it's not my incarnation they're responding to. They're responding to the creator, the true self. So, anyway, as I was saying, what was I saying? I got off topic. Oh yeah, I'm being silly right now. Oh yeah. Anyway. Oh yeah. So I want y'all to understand that's what I'm trying to say. Cause I felt like I didn't explain that part accurately. Remember, the dark is the unconscious. Beyond the construct of the mind. Even the construct of his own mind is his incarnations. Yeah, just like the rest of reality. All of reality, you can also call it his body parts. Because another term for the earth is heart. See that? Another term for the highest heaven is his throne. You see that? Yeah, another term for the water, in reality, all the water, look, is his blood. Another term for the heavens is the upper regions of his body. Another term of the angels is the neurons, or the messengers, or the signal links, which we use to move our, the signal travels at the speed of light from our brain, which we use to move our, yeah, you can also call the heavenly beings that. And like I said, another term for his firstborn son of creation, the light, is also the thoughts of the source, while wisdom, the daughter, is also called the imagination of the source. You see that? And the chaos is also called the shadow, right? It's also called the self-awareness counterpart, the ego of the source. Yeah, yeah, yeah. While the dark is also called the unconscious. Yep. He's where all the rules comes out of, the logic and another term for the light and the, what I'm trying to say. There's many, yeah, when you think about it. So, He even exceeds his own mind construct that he created first from himself. So ain't that something? So I repeat, what is God when you think about it? Yep, he's literally the dark itself. When you turn off all the lights, you're seeing how the creator physically looks like. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The dark, yeah. That's my favorite term to describe the creator. Why? Yeah, 'cause that's how he physically looks. He's dark black. He's a color black. There's no shape or form either. So he's like the source, the void that's completely black, and there's no distinction or shape or form. He's a formless one. That's why he's calling me present, huh? But anyway, I'm telling you detail what he physically looks like, and this is why. Yeah. So the dark is remember, people don't know what the dark is, right? People associate the dark with evil because the dark looks intimidating. But you gotta understand, masculinity is power, so of course it looks intimidating. That's right. So another term for masculinity is power. So we're supposed to be like, masculine. See, mind our own business, doing our own thing. Of course, there will be people who will be intimidated. Dude, because the dark is another term for masculinity. Like I said, people confuse the dark with evil, right? Now realizing the dark is beyond good and evil. The shadow is the one that's evil, while the light is the one that's good. The light is also called universally necessary good, while the shadow is called necessary evil. Mm-hmm. They're all creations. They all are the main ingredients of reality that makes up reality. So that's why they exist. They exist on purpose. They're designed. The creator made his evil counterpart first, which is another term for his ego or emotion or his self-awareness or his motivation itself or action or chaos. Remember, action, another term for chaos, is the ability to do anything to move That's why chaos is also known as the most subtle spirit of the void. It started moving from the most subtle spirit. Yeah, it's even subtle than ordinary spirit. Which is the light or. Because light and wisdom are even more detailed spirit, like more vibration, powerful vibration. But the shadow is very subtle compared to the light and the wisdom, yeah. And the other spirit, yeah. So, like I said, the dark, the dark is, people confuse the dark with the shadow. Remember that, people. When you hear evil, it's talking about shadow. And when you hear good, it's talking about light. And when you hear imagination, it's talking about wisdom. Yeah, wisdom is also called the origin of all shapes and forms, and the disperse of the five senses. The five senses is just one sense. There's in existence is only an illusion that they're different. All five senses, all the senses we have, the sensory, the messengers that travel the light speed messengers, all five senses, all it is the same sight. It's just sights, which rhymes with light. It's just sights, Because another term for sight is light. Because the light creates your wisdom to create the heavenly beings and the beings that exist. And wisdom is used as a portal for other creations too. And she's also where the sensory comes from. And the five senses is really just sight itself. So it's only an illusion that they're different. But only people with the highest awareness can recognize the truth about that. Yeah. Ooh. But anyway. That's what I wanted to describe in this video. So, yeah. So remember, folks. Remember, folks. The dark is beyond the necessary good and evil, and the necessary evil is shadow, his first wife, the mother in heaven, and his necessary good is his firstborn son of creation, the lights, and then his necessary imagination is the wisdom, the daughter in heaven, and the origin of shapes and forms. And the disperse of the five senses. So anyway, I wanted to explain that in more detail. So I think in my last video I didn't explain it. I mean, there was the last part. I don't think I said something accurately enough. So that's why I wanted to say this video. But anyway, so remember that when you hear peace, it's just another term for the creator himself. When you hear chaos, it's actually the creator's ego counterpart, who's also an incarnation in the first incarnation. You have the first female, and he created through her to create the male, their children lie in wisdom, the male and female. Then light created your wisdom. So the male and female, the male created your female continued until there was no more creation, and creation is complete. All creation is made because of the union of male created your female. So remember that. So yep. Anyway, I think I made my point. Well, that's the end of this video. Peace.